the king in chapter 5, and then she invites the king and Haman to a banquet. At the banquet, the king asks her, what is it that you need? It's going to be given to you even up to half of my kingdom. Esther tells him again, I am going to have a second banquet, and when you come, bring Haman with you. Because at that banquet, I would ask you whatever that I need. So the scripture says Haman gets out of the first banquet, right, going to get ready for banquet number 2. Then he finds Mordecai at the gate. And even though he's excited and so happy about the banquet and everything that takes place, as soon as he sees Mordecai the Jew. And in our last lesson, I told you why, right? Because Haman, the son of what? Hammedatha the Agagite. Because it was the Jews that destroyed Agag, the grandfather of Haman. When he saw him, he said, I cannot believe this guy is still at this gate. Now, can you believe somebody who is so excited from coming from a banquet sees a person and all of a sudden his whole demeanor changes? Life is interesting. So he goes home and then he tells his wife and his friends, and his wife brings him an idea. Ladies, be careful of what you say to your spouses when you start giving them bad ideas. The same way, men, be careful when you give bad ideas. Because there are some things that might not even be in the head of your wife, and you will put it in there. May God help us. So Zeresh, which is Haman's wife, tells him, come on, build up gallows 75 feet tall. And then in the morning, just impale or hang Mordecai on it. And then after that, just go to your party and have fun. The guy wants to be happy at the party, so somebody must die. And so he spends the entire night supervising the building of the gallows. He couldn't sleep. Spends the entire night supervising the building of the gallows. And the scripture says on the same night that he was supervising the gallows, that night God was stirring the king. The heart of the king is in the hands of the Lord, and he turns it any way he wants. All right, let's pick up the reading from Esther chapter 6. Let's look at verse 1. Are you there? That night, what night is he talking about? The night that Haman was building the gallows. The night that after that night, Mordecai was going to be what? Impaled. That night, the king could not sleep. Why? Because God says, the enemy is working something out, and I cannot allow you to sleep. You are the tool that I'm going to use to rescue my people. Hear me, oh church. When anyone thinks he is going to fight you, that same day when he is planning, God is stirring someone else to counter what they are planning. You don't need to be worried about how many people have a meeting. Just ask yourself, is heaven also having